sort of like a carry character. Usually you try and look at McCree within a sort of team composition where he isn't exactly the main carry, but he demands a lot of attention. Whereas when Asking gets on it, he just doesn't miss. He will burn through you with that revolver. He'll get kills with a Deadeye as well, which isn't that common in pro play because people are a lot more conscious of their positioning, of course, and they can get away from that a lot better.
Yeah, normally if you get one Deadeye kill in pro play, it's, you know, job well done.
That's over.
And able to win the fight from there on out. However, Snakes, Young and Beautiful, they are going to go onto Control Center as their first Lijiang map. Young and Beautiful, not too much of a surprise here. They're going for a double DPS setup. KSP on the McCree this time, though. Yeah,
he's going to be trying to show up, Asking who's going to be coming in on the Hanzo. Benbest up there in front and taking a little bit of poke damage, but of course Gustav and Xerath can try and heal that up.
Yeah, not too much 3-3 play from either of these teams historically, and they're just continuing that trend so far. With Track on that Hanzo as well, formidable Pharah player, scary Pharah player if you will, is going to get taken out by Mete though, and Asking is going to find the first kill onto Xerath. And now Zapri, look how far forward he's playing, making sure Danny doesn't go back and come back to the fight with all that high energy. And in fact, Christopher finding himself 2 kills as well with that Flame Strike.
Yeah, roasting 2 of the Young and Beautiful with the Fire Strike, and will put himself some ult charge to boot with that. You can see Zapri is on fire, laying down a huge amount of damage over the course of that fight. Didn't pick up too many killing blows, but did soften them up for, as we saw, Mete to come in with the Plasma Mortars and finish him off. So now Young and Beautiful not in an ideal position. They've almost got the Valkyrie, which they could use to push forward with a little bit more vim and vigor, but I don't know if that's going to be enough considering what Snakes can throw at them. Zapre's already got the barrage ready to go.
Well, there's the Valkyrie coming out from Snakes first up. Joe, Zapre, there's KSP. He's a hit scan player, but the problem is you can't out-heal all those rockets, especially when they are that close. Track takes him down extremely low though. Zapre is going to back off. Extremely hard to push the Pharah because she was able to soften up the tanks when they do come into her range. They are going to push forward. Track about 5 HP and Zapre is going to go down. Xerath gets his name on the board, but a Resurrection will bring him back into the fight. And Asking has got that Dragon Strike as well. Transcendence used from Young and Beautiful here, and the Shatter's going to bite the ground as well, but they're all trapped on this pillar. Xerath and Benbest are going to taste the Dragon's Fury. Even Gustav as well is going to go back, down in the backline. Also, Danny's going to make it a full house there. Young and Beautiful end up getting team killed, and Snakes continue to control the point.
And Alzes talked about how much of a consistent player Mete has been across his time on Bazooka Puppies, and now on Snakes he did manage to beat out Danny to the punch when it came to building that Graviton Surge. His synergy with Christopher seems to be good. He's helping Christopher survive, who hasn't died yet as far as I've seen. And Christopher, his reward for that, he's got the Earth Shatter ready. Benbest used his, so really Christopher can be as aggressive as he wants here and not worry about his team being taken out behind him.
They're definitely going to need that Shatter because they have combo online. That is Young and Beautiful. Christopher's going to come in, but Christopher's going to get caught up, but he's the only one there. KSP is going to take out Asking eventually, and now Zapre is going extremely low as well. KSP finds both DPS players of Snakes now. They can move forward, but with a Resurrection on Zapre, it might lead them to, you know, push a little bit faster, but with KSP unleashing that High Noon and finding himself 2 kills, will end the fight and the push here. For Young and Beautiful, they are going to cut the point.
So with 99% there to Snakes, Young and Beautiful were forced to use a lot more than they may well be comfortable with. They used the Valkyrie as well to try and keep themselves in the fight. And now Cave, he's got a distinct advantage on that support ultimate. He's 95% of the way there, Jaws, and of course he can damage boost Asking when he comes out with this Dragon Strike as well. Track's going to build up to that quickly, already 69%, and we know how fast Hanzos can really farm that up on these meaty tanks, but you have to wonder if Young and Beautiful are going to be able to weather the storm here. Snakes have time to try and go for an eco push, but Cave already has used the Valkyrie.
Oh, KSP's already dead as well. Asking, he's on the sidelines. The Shadow coming through from Benbest wasn't quite enough to subdue the offense coming through from Christopher and those Dragons. He does get stunned up in the back, and that'll be a massive right click coming through from KSP to secure a kill, but Asking, he's already done the damage. 3 kills for him. KSP trying to just secure the point, or at least contest it for longer. 99% to Snakes. Control Center will be theirs.
KSP may well be a fan of hammers, but not a fan of Asking, and Snakes, like I said, going to claim Control Center and now stand 1 stage away from claiming the first map here in this incredibly important match. We'll have to see which stage we're going to be going to next, because that's largely going to dictate what sort of compositions we're going to be seeing out of these teams. And it will be Gardens. We've seen a variety of play here, Joel. Sometimes we see a Widowmaker, sometimes we see a Pharah, sometimes we see 3-3 if you happen to be Angry Titans or Giganti, who thus far have been incredibly successful on this point. But it looks like neither team is going to be going for it this time.
To be fair, anybody on this map, 3-3's been so good, and I just cast my mind back every single time to that Giganti versus 1 point match, the 3-3 that just flipped around every 20% or so because that's just how fast the compositions just can run at each other. However, like you said, Young and Beautiful and Snakes not choosing to go for that. Asking's going to jump onto that Widow. We're on Zapre on Tracer though.
Ben Best and Christopher decide to go for a different approach here. Ben Best going to be having that trusty shield from the Reinhardt to keep his team nice and safe, but question is, will everyone be disciplined behind it? Because they're going to have to be hiding from Asking. And of course, Track and Gustav in the air, they're going to have trouble hiding behind that shield. Zapre's already trying to force out some positioning from Track here and corral him into the sight of the Widowmaker.
Perfectly executed onto KSP. That's the target they wanted as soon as he used his dash. He was extremely vulnerable. So was Exarath apparently, as Asking did have him in his sights. A quick D-mech onto Danny's mech should signal the end of the fight. A very quick and clean fight for Snakes. And that was all on Zapre in the back line. And the quick headshot from Asking isn't going to net him a kill. However, Christopher does finish it up onto Gustav.
Ben Best managed to get himself some consolation charge there, but is going to throw it away by moving over to the Winston instead. He wants to be able to close those gaps to make sure Asking isn't sitting pretty and untouched in the backlines here. They want to try and make sure that Asking has no space. But of course, when you give Asking space, Jaws, you still got to worry about Zapre. We followed him through that last fight, darting around, the little time demon herself being a huge thorn in the side here of Young and Beautiful.
What's quite cool now, we're seeing Snakes not using, that was a nice headshot, not using Zapre as a more facilitative DPS. He was the one going into the action first up and actually distracting most members. Asking, put down the rifle, it's just cruel. Asking is going to work his way up to an ultimate also, as he does find Gustav, and that will be Snakes pushing forward, punishing for Young and Beautiful's maybe a little bit greedy play. I wouldn't say that greedy though, they literally just stepped out their spawn and double headshot will end the push.
And you can see that Snakes here are keen to make sure that Young and Beautiful have to invest some sort of resources, whether it's mobility cooldowns or healing, to try and move forward into this area of the map that Snakes want to try and put themselves at home in. Here come the infrasites, and of course that's going to mean that Danny has to try and block things out. But Snakes have already used the Valkyrie. Gustav's ready to join them shortly.
Well, he's going to try and disrupt him, but Asking does have that grapple, and that'll be Exarath going down. Fragging Zenyatta. He gets fragged himself as that self-destruct does kill him off. Kodak's going to take KSP and take up that mantle for sure. And you can already see Zapre moving towards another pulse bomb, 60% already. Snakes, perfect control of this fight, have only used those two ultimates. Cave just coming out of his, the Valkyrie was popped earlier.
And Zapre's playing around that angle because he knows he can force people into the sights of Asking.
Zapre is going to jump straight in as soon as Christopher did hit the ground. That just means that Asking can now just sit on that bridge and take 3 shots. 90% now for Snakes. They might just take this first map here and now. Gustav is going to go down and Asking's going to jump on the point as there was a priming raging Ben Best there to try and contest. But it's all over and said and done with it. Victory transcenders from both sides. Nothing's going to stop Snakes now. Lijiang Tower is firmly in their grasp.
Exarath's going to be hunted down by Zapre. The Dregs being hunted from Young and Beautiful. Snakes have found their prey, they sunk in their fangs, and they've delivered the venom.
99% to 0. Lijiang Tower taken by Snakes. And I got a feeling that's why chat was behind them the whole time. Just domination coming out in the first game.
There may have been questions about meta synergy with Christopher, but both of them are looking fantastic as we move into our second map, which will of course be hybrid, chosen by Young and Beautiful as the losers of that first one, but now they're on the back foot. They've got to try and fight this back, and you got to wonder where they're going to go. If they go to Eichenwald, they've got to worry about these DPS threats coming out of Zapre and Asking, and if they go to King's Row, they've still got to worry about the Reinhardt that Christopher was showing off well on Control Center.
Asking's highlight clip was on Eichenwald, if you remember rightly. So it was on the Widowmaker to start him off with, and then straight onto that McCree and held second point. It was super easy for him because he was playing so aggressive, because his tanks allowed him to do that. We talk about Christopher and Ben Best being kind of these resurrected tanks from Season 1. They're showing it right here, right now. We are going to take a quick break, guys. We'll be back with map number 2 very soon. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 2 coming up very shortly. It's going to be Eichenwald or King's Row, Young and Beautiful and 6nakes facing off against each other. One map up already, and like we said before, this is the set that is going to decide who gets placed in that top 4.
It is indeed, and if we have a 4-0 for either side, it's going to be a lot easier for British Hurricane to try and take the loser and kick them off into Contenders trials. And it does look like it is going to be King's Row, the choice of Young and Beautiful, Jaws. And, well, that's where Christopher's from, the Team UK big boy himself.
Yeah, he's even on Team UK also, representing in the World Cup. So, is he going to be able to bring it home? We'll have to wait and find out. Young and Beautiful are on the defense first. Snakes are on the offense.
Is it going to be a tank? Is it going to be a bust? To carry Snakes to the victory is the question. Like you said, Young and Beautiful going to be starting off here on the defense, and something that we've seen become a motif in the defense across King's Row, across pretty much all of Contenders Season 2, is the double sniper. And Young and Beautiful, Jaws, they have one of the best rosters in the world for double sniper, because Track and KSP both are very effective winner makers, and Track is also a very accomplished projectile player himself. It's natural that he should move over to that Hanzo.
Yeah, KSP was hyped up at the start of the season by quite a few players, and in a player that, when he does end up lighting on fire and hitting these kind of ridiculous shots that you don't expect him to hit, he will continue doing so until your entire team is dead. So him coming up against Asking is a very, very scary 1v1, and I want to see what KSP is going to do on the defense here. It does look like they are going double sniper. Is Asking going to roll out with this Hanzo, however? Because we've seen his Widowmaker already. Just please have that 1v1. We know you want to do it.
Well, we do know that he's also incredibly clutch on the Hanzo. Remember that Eichenwald third point where he basically 1v4 to keep the cart going in the last seconds, and Snakes eventually won that one out. He basically saved it for them. We'll have to see if he'll need to save him on King's Row. But for now, it looks like Snakes probably going to be just rolling out with maybe this Sombra. This is usually a scouting tool, but can be very good to try and disable some of the tanks like Ben Best and Danny, make sure those shields aren't available. But no, he's quickly swapping up. It's going to be double sniper versus double sniper. But the key difference here between the tank lines, Jaws, is that Snakes, they are more mobile, whereas Young and Beautiful, they want to stand firm. Boots on the ground, Ben Best and Danny.
Oh yes, Asking trying to keep his boots firmly off the ground, or stilettos. I'm not entirely sure what Widow wears on her feet. Regardless of that, he is going to jump over and get that 1v1. Spy boots, yeah.
Spiked boots, they're
Spiked
nasty.
boots, yeah. That'll definitely hurt if you're going to get stopped on that, that's for sure. Zachary is moving forward onto this Hanzo. Already finds a kill onto Track. He's trying to dodge. Quick resurrection, however, was spotted out. Gustav narrowly escapes with his life as Storm Arrow being unleashed, and that'll be a very aggressive Exarath moving forward, trying to punish that.
Zachary put down to 10 health, and of course is going to demand some healing. Asking was taken out, but will be revived. However, Christopher now doesn't have that resurrection available for him, and Snakes may well consider backing off. Zachary is going to be in lunge distance to get out over that gate. No longer wants to be staying at the Underwood Hotel. Didn't order the late checkout and has gone out early.
Unfortunately, so I always wake up a little bit too late, I'm not going to lie. And then it's about 10 minutes before I actually have to pack and leave.
Always miss breakfast.
Always miss breakfast.
Most important meal of the day,
And Asking's missing his head now as KSP finds yet another kill. Third kill and third headshot in a row for the sniper, and that will be an Infosight as the reward.
And Young and Beautiful seem pretty stalwart on this defense. Asking is going to be brought back, but now Snakes have to wait another 30 seconds for Cave's resurrection to be available. They do have double support ultimates waiting for them, but neither of them are particularly good against the burst damage that can be given by a sniper headshot.
Transcendence used fairly early here, and the Shatter will actually send Zapre and Cave there to the floor, meaning there's not enough healing from the Mercy, and they are going to be able to push forward here. However, that healing didn't really seem to matter as Track was going down anyway, as Zapre did launch the Dragons on the back line. And look at that Primal Rage coming through, actually. Christopher was able to beat Ben Best right into the back line of Snakes, and Zapre saw us back to the wall. Bam! A couple of Storm Arrows ended up securing the kill, and they are going to be on that point. Recontestation may be available here, but Young and Beautiful playing very, very far back as Asking finds 2 kills on Gustav and KSP.
Asking looking to pick apart the chances Young and Beautiful had to go and contest that, and they'll be moving forward trying to catch stragglers as well. The question is, will Christopher be able to rally them into his sights? Ben Best, you're going to have to make an escape here, buddy. Don't let Asking really mow you down.
Look how far Asking's playing up as well. He's almost in their spawn, Gustav. That was so close. You've got to be more careful there, buddy. You know Asking has pushed that far up. As soon as he goes down in that situation, that is a free push round the streets for Snakes.
So speaking of free pushes, Danny and Track may well have the freedom to stop the next one with this combination. Kodak has nothing to try and save him with the Transcendence. He's only 50% of the way there. The Graviton and the Dragon Strike, another hallmark of Overwatch Contenders Season 2 in Europe. The question is, can Danny place this in the right position? There's always the chance that Mete can eat up the Graviton, can eat up the Dragon, or something can stop this from happening well.
Oh, there's the Dragon Strike as well as that self-destruct coming in. Gustav gets killed. The Graviton Surge locks them all in place, though. This might be what Track was looking for. Kodak and Zapre are going to go down, but Arsking returns the favour in killing Track. Christopher, once again, completely ignored in the back line here, is going to be able to secure one tank kill, and that personal bubble from Danny a little bit too late, and he's going to go down as well. So two massive ultimates used there by the defense from Young and Beautiful, and they are punished for it by Christopher, who was playing so aggressive, wasn't touched at all.
Yeah, the grab placement wasn't the best, and only managed to get both Zapre and Kodak in that, who are going to take a little bit to respawn, but they're going to be there about the same time as Young and Beautiful are, because they were staggered out. Exaraf can try and carry them in with a Transcendence, enough healing to try and sustain this, but will it be enough against Asking and Zapre?
Well, 2 meters now left. Track is trying to contest. Transcendence coming out for Young and Beautiful to keep them alive on the point for the time. However, with that D.Va going extremely low, that does mean they're going to have to back out rather quickly. Mete now getting healed up and Track building up towards another ultimate. 60% now for him, but Christopher using that Primal Rage perfectly once again, batting those tanks so the shield isn't protecting the rest of the team, just leaves a firing range, an open field for Asking and Zapre just to fire arrows and bullets down. And with Christopher taking out Exarath, a very clean and easy push for Snakes.
Well, the good news is that Exarath got halfway up to a Transcendence already after he used it in the last fight, but Zapre is going to be trying to lock down the points of ingress here from Young and Beautiful. He's got the Dragon Strike ready to go once again. Track's not going to be able to join him for now, but that headshot to Cave will get him a little bit closer and take Snakes a little bit closer to spawn.
It might halt the push. Asking.
That's a second.
Not where you want to be. I think he got hit by a couple of orbs there, and Track just took him out. Arrow to the knee, and as he end up ragdoll flying to the sky and ends up crashing down to the floor. Does mean a couple extra seconds here for Snakes to reconvene, and that does mean Young and Beautiful are going to be able to push past this cart now. Extremely important positioning as the cart is rolling back.
Kodak may decide to try and hang on to this Transcendence, and of course, one of the main weaknesses of Transcendence against this double sniper composition is that not only does it not give you enough healing to try and survive a damage boost to Dragon Strike into Graviton Surge, but also, it doesn't do anything against burst damage. If you take a headshot from a Hanzo or a Widowmaker and you have less than 250 health, you're dying whether you're in Transcendence or not, whether Valkyrie is active or not. The only thing that's going to save you from that is a shield. Or a sound barrier. 2 kills from Track, 2 headshots as well. There's the Dragon Strike onto the point, but an answering Transcendence from Kodak to stop a lot of that damage coming through from Track. However, like you just mentioned, as soon as that is damage boosted, Zapre and Christopher do end up going down. Track finds himself 6 kills in the last minute and a half, and he's going to earn himself another Dragon Strike very soon. 50% already on that ult. And Exaraf still having held off on that Transcendence. It's in the back pocket, and now he's got a huge advantage over Kodak. He can force an engagement here. He can make sure that Ben Best and Danny can go forward and are very well protected as they do so against Christopher and Mete, who are going to be lacking healing. Track dueling out with Asking. Asking doesn't want to take the fight, especially when those storm arrows are active. Asking moving forward, just trying to find some nice sight lines. Double headshot onto Ben Best, and that shield is extremely low. Unlucky he wasn't able to take him out for the time being, and Cave does end up popping that Valkyrie also. There's the hammer down from Ben Best, but the Earth Shatter doesn't quite find anything, but Mete is going to move forward and punish that low shield coming through from Ben Best. A resurrection onto Mete as he was punished, but Ben Best is going to come back from the grave as well. The Dragons do come out once more from Young and Beautiful, but that'll just be forcing Snakes back for the time. Codex gets caught out, and Exaras finds himself 2 kills. Indeed he does, building up once again to that Transcendence, and Danny there will be ready soon with a Graviton Surge, but Mete's beaten to the punch. He's got it ready to go. However, we have seen that Zapre doesn't yet have the Dragon Strike, and thus far the combinations have been a little bit underwhelming from both these teams. They're relying more on individual plays than the combinations that we've seen come out. We are now 1 minute left in the time bank. Think how easy it was to capture that first point and then push through the streets. They've only just captured the second point, and now they are faced with 1 minute remaining. They haven't really got many ults to... Well, I say that now. I just actually take a look at the screen. And they've got 2 ults and 2 big ults to work with. That is Mete's ultimate, and Zapre is going to fire through that Dragon Strike. Finally, Zapre finds some kills, and it is 4 of them at that. Mete ends up clearing up Exarath, and Snakes are finally pushing that cart on. Evidently they heard me when I said their combinations weren't quite good enough. I'm going to pick up 4 there. Gustav wasn't actually caught in the Graviton, but he went forward using the Guardian Angel to reset, because he knows that Young and Beautiful can't afford to lose any seconds here. They need to come out together but they can't afford the staggers. They've got one last chance here, possibly, to defend this.
But KSP has already taken out Asking. Christopher's moving forward. Earthshatter onto Ben Best. That's a lot of damage to Discord Orb on him as well. A Graviton Surge going through from Danny, but Track only just gets his ultimate. He might not be able to get there in time. No! Look, everybody splits apart, and Kodak ends up taking out Exarap. They're still touching the point, and Asking has come back to the fight. Track gets headshot in midair as well, and now Asking has the high ground to try and duel out the enemy Widowmaker. KSP's firmly set his gaze on top of him, but the shatter is blocked from Ben Best. Christopher going extremely low, but does receive the personal bubble. Still Asking, firing down this range, and look how close it is. Under a meter now remaining, and Asking is going to find another headshot, but not quite a kill. Ben Best takes out Kodak, man advantage, or not anymore, as in fact as Zapre comes back on the Doomfist just for some extra time on the point.
He's almost
Ben
got
Best extremely low, and another Graviton Surge from Mete might just end it all here. The Mercy tries to run away, but she just gets a light punch clean out. Zapre ends up finishing up the fight. A team kill for Snakes, and round 1 completion.
And that is the emergency Doomfist coming out again. It saved Snakes last week during Watchpoint Gibraltar when they had to try and take the first point in overtime after multiple failed pushes. Zapre always has this in the back pocket. It's not one of their main heroes, it's there for the surprise factor when people can't really try and adjust and deal with it because they're worrying about bigger things. And when you're worrying about bigger things, asking, demolishing your sniper line is one of the bigger things you've got to worry about.
Don't let this boy have a McCree. Don't let this boy have Widow. Don't let him have space in the game.
Don't let him log in.
Yeah, because he is going to take it over, and that's exactly what he did. As soon as they managed to get that rolling, like you mentioned, they were using the rolls rather frivolously. It was one after another, waited for that combo, eventually got 4 kills, and then Asking was able to play very aggressively.
But this was, of course, a map choice of Young and Beautiful, and to give them credit, they did have a full 8-minute defense. Overtime is what it took for Snakes to try and have a completion here, so this means that there's a very good win condition for Young and Beautiful to try and tie up this series. If they can finish this map with more than a minute left, they will get a free attack, where Snakes do not get one, they only get to defend, and if they can claim 33% after that, they can claim the map. But, you know what you got to do first, Jaws? You got to take King's Row.
Yes, you do. And that will land Snakes in match point as well if they do end up taking this series, edging Young and Beautiful ever closer to not making that top 8. Scary situation, like we mentioned before, for both of these squads. Now, Snakes turn to defend. Christopher's going to jump on to that Orisa, and we've got a Hog on the field as well, piloted by Kodak. Only one healer for Snakes, and that's Cave on the Mercy.
Flashbacks to Overwatch League for me right here, Jaws, seeing a couple of shades of the defenses we see in the big leagues. We've got Kodak, of course, that flex support, now moving on to the big pig himself. But the question is, how well will Christopher be able to communicate these Holts? We saw it from Gesture in London Spitfire. Holt can be one of the most effective abilities in the game, but you've got to have your team try and play off of it. They're not playing on the high ground this time, straight onto point. They want to make sure that wherever Young and Beautiful are moving, they do not have any cover from the fire of Snakes.
Yeah, they can't get flanked as well, is what's very important. Asking using that 3D peek with that emote. Oh no, instantly spotted out and punished by Track as a Discord Orb landed on top, and bang! An arrow straight to the chest was able to take her out, meaning Asking can't get rezzed either. Cave is very far back. If he dies, the push is over.
Yeah, you'd have to fly through enemy fire to do so, and now Ben Best has made his way inside the shield of Christopher. This is not where you want to be as an Orisa.
Definitely not. Danny, don't want to be near him either. He's very high charge, 60 building on 70%. Kodak ends up killing Gustav, however. Young and Beautiful now only have 2 healers left in KSP and Exarap, but not very much sustained healing from them. They are going to be able to secure 2 ticks though. Christopher's shield goes down. Kodak does get a hook onto Danny, goes extremely low, and Mete ends up killing him off, as well as Ben Best. Asking is finally back from the spawn room, and he ends up cleaning up a kill of his own as well. Young and Beautiful, their failed push did net them 2 ticks on the point, however.
And not only that, they managed to demech Mete, who's only 22% of the way towards getting that mech. There's no way to environmentally kill yourself here on King's Row first, so he's going to have to try and build that up over the course of the next attack. And KSP can potentially get a quick kill on him using that shield bash combo that we see often used on Tracers to try and take him out before that D.Va Mech is back. But Ben Best going for a little bit of a flight there, buddy.
Hey Ben Best, how's it going? Didn't have a shield almost there for a second, but did receive one from Danny. There's Track trying to duel out, Asking once again. He sends himself sky high, but exactly where Track wanted him. Zapre is going to send out the tire, but only a little bit of damage to the shields, and now Track has the high ground. Now he has the advantage, killing off the 2 DPS. He has that Dragon Strike ready to go, pushes it straight into the corner. It's actually going to block Cave from actually touching the point. They are now getting almost full completion, but Mete sends that self-destruct into the air and finds 2 kills. They might be able to go for a small re-engage, but with only the Mercy and Mete to actually defend, it wasn't going to be the case. Young and Beautiful do cap the point eventually. 4 minutes, 30 seconds are in now, that time bank.
Does look like Cave has made a miraculous escape, however, using the tag tank line to ferry themselves back, so not going to be an extra kill there, but does mean that Meta is going to have to bring themselves back from a fast spawn at the end of King's Row on that Zarya. No movement abilities available, so it's going to take their time. Young and Beautiful are using this time. They're going to move forward. They're going to claim the streets. They don't want to give Snakes any free ground here, but they've got to be careful because Asking is going to control those sight lines very well by using this infrasight. He knows exactly where Track and KSP are right now.
3-3 is definitely not in their wheelhouse. The augmentation of this composition is the double sniper. Danny is going to launch that Graviton Surge in, but no Dragons to actually follow it up. Does net Ben Best a kill and Track get a kill as well. The Shadow does hit the floor, and that does mean a couple of extra kills going towards the way of Young and Beautiful. Still, it's going to be hard to actually hold this Streets phase. Asking is going to be the only one left. Maybe just get some extra time on the car, but Track makes short work of it.
Yeah, no time on the car, just time to go back to respawn, I'm afraid. Asking, Young and Beautiful looking pretty dominant here thus far as they move into Streets phase. We'll have to see what Track wants to do with this Dragon. Looks like he may try and bring it in from behind to try and bisect Snakes, try and leave Christopher out on his own so that Ben Best can just swing into it.
Dragons available. No Graviton Surge, but Track sometimes doesn't even need it. Now they're going to be able to cut everybody off. They have to make a decision. Zapre and Christopher apparently made the wrong decision. They walked straight into it. Not enough healing in the world to stop you from going down. Track now building himself up towards another ultimate. Asking already almost takes them out even on that Widowmaker, but now Track controlling that high ground. 4 minutes, 20 seconds in the time bank.
The decision was supposed to be back or forward, but apparently they decided to stay in the Dragon nonetheless, and they suffered for it. Both Zapre and Christopher melted down by those hungry Dragons, and now Track's free to build up to yet another ultimate. We see an emergency as well here. Cave moving over onto the Lucio. This isn't a huge amount of healing here, but Snakes are going to be trying to go for the 3-3 against Young and Beautiful, who are ready with the Transcendence.
Also scary. Trans ready, and Ben Best almost got that Shadow as well. Transcendence using Young and Beautiful. They are now able to push forward. Ben Best takes out Christopher and then lays down the Shadow. No shield, no problem. Snakes still marching forward as they manage to take KSP's life clean away. Cave is going to fall off the map, I think. I don't know what happened there, but Track is going to punish Zapre for playing so far up as well. Snakes tried to play Young and Beautiful their own game, holding up towards the cart, but it was punished.
Kodak, over the course of this, has built up a Transcendence, so they're going to be a little bit more hardy in the face of danger, and danger's exactly what Danny is prepared to throw at them. The Graviton Surge is almost ready. Track's ready also with the Dragon Strike. The question is, can it be eaten? Asking's in his face with the Diva trying to make it happen.
They do have that Transcendence available in that Shatter. Christopher might be able to waylay this point a little bit more, and Mete does have his Graviton Surge as well. Both grab thrown out, there's the Transcendence, but it's getting damage boosted. Mete finds 2 kills, but the damage boosted Dragons weren't quite enough. Gustav wasn't really there, and Kodak marches forward with the rest of his squad. The Transcendence and the kill to boot as well is going to land Snakes another fight. They still have to fight against 3 minutes in the time bank, however.
That they do. Absolute perfection is demanded here on King's Row. 3 minutes to go, and about 10 meters of mercy is available to Snakes if they want to try and stay in this map. Gustav ready to come out with a Valkyrie, and Zapre's just made sure that the rally is ready. Everyone's armored up. Kodak and Mete are going to be incredibly resilient in the face of danger.
They're going to push in with that rally as well. Mete extremely high charge, wants to be able to build up towards another Graviton Surge. He is 500 HP on the Zarya, and a big shadow from Christopher. An even bigger Flame Strike with the triple kill from the upswing. That'll be a quick team kill and team wipe for Young and Beautiful. However, that only cost them 30 seconds.
I'm not a fan of that Valkyrie from Gustav. However, he could have called that that one was a loss. Maybe a little bit of breakdown in communication there from Young and Beautiful. They know their win condition. They've got to win 1, maybe 1.5 fights here to push the cart in. But they invested the Valkyrie in what was very much a lost fight. It was like a 5-man Earthshatter, 3 kills from a Fire Strike, and now they're over again.
Another extremely aggressive push. There's the Shadow. He does hit the ground. The self-destruct's going to get stopped in his path as well. Ben Best with the expert Shadow is going to charge in also and find the pin kill onto Mete. That Graviton Surge looks so good for Snakes. They're going to drop the beat, but Cave, his music's all but stopped. The Spotify playlist not quite available for him yet. KSP now whipping out that Junkrat is going to find 1 kill, and Kodak takes the 1v1 Zen battle. 300 HP gets disintegrated as Ben Best and Danny did end up finding the kill. They're pushing on with 1 minute and 30 left. Snakes have 1 more fight.
And they've got a couple of worries as well, namely the Earth Shatter, the Riptire, the Dragon Strike, and the Graviton Surge all coming up in seconds here for Young and Beautiful, and already the Transcendence is out.
KSP's got that Riptire. He's going to send it straight to the back line. Can he find a kill? Or we might just be able to waits for the shield to run out on Mete and does secure his life. Track, he gets knocked off the high ground by that D.Va, but the Graviton Surge only securing one might just be all that's needed. Track finds another kill onto Kodak. A trap getting Housking's mech as well. 6 seconds out on Mete beforehand. 1 meter to go. There's an emergency tracer. Mete, they might just be able to do it here. 1 sub-minute for the side of Young and Beautiful will mean a 1 minute time bank for both.
A matter of seconds was all that it was there. Someone coming out on the tracer, I didn't even catch it. I was staring at the clock jaws, but they managed to do it. The courtesy minute has been applied here for Snakes. They are still in this map.
1 extra minute for both teams. 1 minute 58 now for Young and Beautiful to defend on. My goodness, Snakes, it's a tall order now. That 58 seconds might not look like much, but it can be the difference between 1 extra attack.
Both teams took their time to try and get the first point. They took about 2 minutes each, respectively, to different styles of defenses. And we'll have to see what Young People are going to bring out this time. Maybe they'll go for the same sort of style with a double sniper, or maybe they're going to try and change it up. They can try and mind game Snakes here, like, oh, are they going to go for something cheesy, try and make sure that we can't get a single tick so that they have a much easier win condition, or are they just going to go for the same thing we did before? Question is, what does Snakes expect? Got to be in each other's heads right now.
They need to be to find out all the hidden strats and hidden ways. KSP has been managing to rip Asking's head off. That's been a match we've said we want to watch, and that's exactly what we did get. It was about 50-50 on the War of the Widows at the end of it all. It's what they want to run out with the attack here. Asking is hovering that Hanzo. However, if he jumps over to that Widowmaker, it might be a little bit more deadly. He's going to have to match with KSP, however.
Looks like Kodak may well be on the Moira here, trying to keep everyone sticking together. This is going to be a different kind of triple tank. Double dive tanks. Oh no, Christopher just bamboozling me. You don't have seconds to waste, my buddy. Maybe he was making sure that Track and KSP were a little bit more conservative with their positioning, and now that they know that Reinhardt's all they got to deal with, they're going to move on back. They do have the 3-3 here, not going to be using the Zenyatta, so it's going to be a little bit more toothless, but of course, a lot more hardy in the face of danger.
Asking gets no charge from his defensive shield, only going to net him a little bit here, not doing a whole lot of damage, but Danny is going to jump onto that point. Already going extremely low, same with Ben Best. They're getting healed up with the healing coming from Gustav, but Ben Best is the first to fall. A tick has already been acquired for Snakes as well. They might just find a second one. Track is off on his lonesome by the side here. You can see Asking just running at him and ends up taking him down. Young and Beautiful, discoordinated at the end there, are going to give up this point. Danny's going to go down as well. Snakes, they're going to be able to cap and push it through the streets phase.
There's the greater healing available to them to make sure that the tank duel was won out. Christopher was incredibly difficult to kill with the support of both Mete and Asking there on the Zarya and D.Va respectively. It was Ben Best. He only had Danny on the D.Va, and look at how much space is being claimed here by Snakes. They know that overtime is in session, but they've also got to watch out. Track can remove someone from the cart. Whoever's there, I imagine it's for Lucio, and this will be over before anyone can even get back.
Cade's going to go down, so no speed boost now for Snakes. Track sends out those dragons, hoping he can catch a couple of members there, but it didn't really happen at all. KSP's the only DPS now really near an ultimate of 50% for him. Ben Best Shatter, this could be it. That's the ultimate they're going to have to rely on, but they're going to have to contend with a Coalescence and a grab.
And Asking, he's hiding away. He's having a quick drink in the pub, waiting for this all to blow over, and he may well decide to do it through the wall, so there's no chance of it being defended. Question is, does he know where everyone is? He's going to be fed some information. Question is, how long is it going to take?
Oh, but Christopher got knocked up into the air there, ever so slightly, delayed that Shadow from coming down, easily predicted there by Ben Best, was able to hold the shield. Graviton Surge gets thrown in, but a big Shadow coming through from Ben Best. KSP finds 2 kills as Kodak and Christopher go down as well. Overtime is still there, but the problem is Young and Beautiful have found the fight they wanted. They end up stopping it before the second point, but they're going to have to get only a meter ahead of Snakes here. Now it's time to switch sides. This is looking also scary for them.
They are Jaws, and to quote Ladder, winnable here for Snakes to try and put themselves on match point as we head into half-time. But of course, Young and Beautiful are just as able to take us to that all-important 1-to-1 and keep British Hurricane on the edge of their seats. They want to make sure that there's no 3-2 scoreline here between these teams, because if they do so, both Young and Beautiful and Snakes will be moving forward into our top 8. And after a play that we've seen in just these 2 maps, I'd be pretty happy with that. These guys are both showing a huge amount of skill across the entire player, base. The entire player.
The entirety
he's
of
a big lad.
He is. Young and Beautiful looking pretty big right now. 1 minute and 58 seconds in that time bank. Almost double what Snakes had. If they can just mirror what Snake just did, they are going to be able to take the game, you could imagine. However, Snakes, look what they're running on the defense. Rather classic. Christopher on that Reinhardt, Mete on that Xayah. Double Sniper 2. Asking if he finds a crucial pick at the start here. That's a big loss of time.
Like you said, Jones, it's a classic here, but it's different from what Snakes used before. They had the triple tank. They had the Orisa, the Diva, and the Roadhog coming out with a single healer. But this time, they're not taking the risk. They want Kodak there on that Zenyatta to lay down the Orb of Harmony, the Orb of Discord, and the Orbs of Destruction. That extra DPS, what we lauded Exarath for, who's been a bit of a frag monster thus far through these early rounds. We'll have to see what Young and Beautiful want to try and do here. May well be double sniper versus double sniper, mirror compositions coming out, Track and Kodak taking some early fire, and everyone's going to scarper away to their hidey holes.
They are giving up a lot of space here. Obviously, normally you don't hold this far up if you're the defensive team. Not unless you're in comp, of course, then you hold all the way to their spawn sometimes. You're going to get punished for it, though, however. Asking is going to jump up and use that grappling hook. We know him for an extremely aggressive Widow play style. We use that grappling hook on cooldown. And Zapre taking Track's cooldowns away from him. Finds another headshot as well onto Danny, and Kodak's going to take out his like-for-like as well.
Yeah, winning out the frag battle with Exarath, making sure that his place is well known. And, of course, half the time bank of Young and Beautiful pretty much has already been used here. And no percentage has been acquired. They do have a little bit of ultimate, though. Gustav, almost there with a Valkyrie, but Cave's going to beat him right to it. And also, Zapre ready to come out very soon with a Dragon Strike.
Now they're on the same playing field as Snakes had. They had a minute remaining, and that's exactly what Young and Beautiful have now as well. 50 seconds, in fact. Zapre is going to punish and pummel that shield of Ben Best to make sure he has to back off and wait for that shield to actually recharge, buying yet a little bit more time. Zapre has the ultimate, but Track is going to go down here. That's really big for Young and Beautiful. They're going to need to respawn quickly and need to get their members in and touch the point. Ben Best is going to pay Christopher a very nice little visit, but the problem is the rest of his team are going to fall around him. Snakes now pushing forward, and they have only 27 seconds left remaining. 2 ultimates and maybe a third as well, as Ben Best gets that Shadow online.
That aggression was crucial. Cave got to get into that little cubby hole and bring Christopher back. The shield's back on the field, but Young and Beautiful have a couple of ultimates here as well. The Dragon Strike won't be there to combo with the Graviton, but everyone's going to be experiencing a group hug because Mete's almost there too. It'll be like for like in Earth Shadows as well.
2 infocytes used, 1 for Snakes, 1 for Young and Beautiful. Ben Best is going to move his way in, trying to bait out that shield from Christopher to lay down the shatter. There is the Graviton Surge. In fact, both have been used, but they're locked on the point. They've only managed to secure a tick, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. Snakes, they've already found 3 members. They're just going to take 2-0 up in this series and put themselves on match point, closer to that top 8 spot.
Snakes keen to claim what they could not in Season 1. They went 0-5 in groups and were relegated. They fought back through the trials, and now they stand on the cusp of victory, taking themselves towards the playoffs of Overwatch Contenders Europe Season 2.
British Hurricane on the edge of their seats. Remember, if this match goes to a 5-game series, if Young and Beautiful find this reverse sweep now, British Hurricane are out. However, a match point for Snakes. They're looking so strong. It's all about shutting down Asking, and he's already put up a hell of a performance.
Yeah, and when you try and shut down Asking, Zapre is there as well, always putting on a great performance, and everyone from the side of Snakes has also been really pulling their weight today, especially Mete, the new player on the team. Ready to go, synergizing, just slotting in like Bloodstain's Lego bricks.
Bloodstain, all right, okay, if you want to go with that one. It was a bit of a question.
Highly charged Lego bricks.
Mete. Was Mete going to be able to fit in time? Apparently he is. 3 people that are very well slotted into the desk, however. We're going to throw it over to them, guys. We'll see you in a bit.